Tim Kennedy is a retired UFC fighter. He is a battle-proven military special forces sniper, and here are his 5 steps to thrive in sales.
Fear is a wonderful thing. Fear is an enabling thing, and fear is an empowering thing. What the problem with fear is when it starts changing how you're going to behave, when it starts debilitating you. The coolest thing about courage is everybody gets scared. The private in World War I to the Navy SEAL guy at Mogadishu. Every one of those guys had the exact same fear. It's just what they decided and chose to do about it. Fear creates some really wonderful hormones and pheromones in our body. Those things make us very acutely aware and make us hone in and be very focused on what we're trying to do. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug. One of the greatest things about fear is you have to embrace it. I know when I get shot at, I'm going to be scared that I'm going to die. I know that when I got blown up on countless times, I thought I was going to die. When you get out of a helicopter and you see muzzle flashes and you hear bullets snapping past your head, that's scary. But it also made you focus. When I'm walking out to the UFC octagon cage and, people are screaming your name and you hear your song that you've walked out to before playing loud over the speaker, you're scared. You're about to walk out there and some dude's going to try to punch you in the face, knock you out, or choke you unconscious. But it gives you a focus. And if you embrace that, it gives you a clarity and it gives you a level of preparedness that you couldn't get elsewhere. So one, you need to embrace it. You need to recognize it, but most importantly, you have to overcome it. It's about the preparation. It's about training. So if you're going to be walking into, I own 6 different businesses. And if I'm walking in to try to establish a new partnership with another supplier or another fulfillment company or a new vendor, I've done all of my research. Like I know everything about everybody. I know the numbers. I've made sure that I know what the best position is for us. I know what the worst position is for us. I know what I'm going to walk out with. I know what I would never walk out with. So when I walk into that room, I'm completely prepared for what's going to happen. Just like when I'm walking into the battlefield, I've loaded every single round into the magazine. I've checked my grenades. I've looked at my flashbangs. I've been training for 15 years now to go and do these missions. And just like walking into the octagon, how much time did I spend in my fight camp? How many sparring rounds did I do? What is my strength and conditioning? What is my weight? All of those tiny little decisions, and there's millions of them. There's infinite. But all of them have led up to me being prepared to do my job. And if your job is to sell stuff, you better be prepared to do it. Depends on the format. If I'm walking into the Chrysler building in New York on Manhattan and knowing I'm going to walk into a boardroom, and that there's 10 suits sitting there, and all of them are going to have specific questions for me. And I've had that, or walking into a room to do kind of a public speaking event, and my performance there is going to dictate maybe if the publisher is going to sign to pick up my book, and that's going to change, what I'm going to make in a year from $1 million to $10 million. We're talking a massive difference in something. So people have different fears, and they're going to respond to that boardroom or that public speaking opportunity or just that cold call differently. I've been shot at more than I've walked into a boardroom, which is a really scary, sad thing to say out loud, but totally true. So, which also means that a boardroom is a little less, I'm less comfortable in there. I'd rather be wearing body armor and holding a gun. With that, it brings a set of fears or anxiety or anxiousness or excitement that I don't regularly get in other areas of my life. So I have to prepare even more to make sure I'm totally ready for every single question or every single comment or bit of conversation that could come up. My household was not a household that if you went to an event and you lost that event, you could bring a participation medal home. That's not how my home worked. You won or you lost, and there were rewards that were associated with winning, and there was disappointment that was associated with losing, which is right. I think we're in an era where everybody just wants to get a pat on the back regardless of what they do, and that's not how it works, especially when we're trying to move product. If I'm trying to sell a company and I'm putting it in position for it to be acquired, I'm making sure I'm overly profitable, I'm moving tons of product, all of my expenses are low, so it's set for it to be sold. And it has to be executed perfectly. And if it's not, you lose. And if you lose, you don't make money. And if you don't make money, then what's the point of working? Like, this is what you do. You're supposed to sell stuff. So do or don't. You're either a failure or you've succeeded. You're either a winner or you're a loser. So that's how it works. Everything about our bodies are connected. If you're not sleeping, you're going to have low energy. If you are not able to release a lot of dopamine and endorphins, you're going to be depressed. If you're eating crappy food, you're not going to have high energy and you're not going to have the ability to have good sleep. If you don't exercise and you're not eating clean and you're not getting good sleep, see the slippery slope that we're on. If you functionally build a foundation, a healthy base, a chassis that you can build anything on top of, you can put a Ferrari on it, you can put a Honda if you want, you can put a Porsche, but you have to have a really solid foundation. And that's where every single car manufacturer starts. That's where every skyrise building starts. They start with a foundation, and we're no different. So I get good sleep every single night. For breakfast this morning, sitting here right here, I have egg whites, avocado, and some pico. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and an apple as my pre-workout. I'm going to go to the gym, work out, and then I'm going to start a very productive day, a healthy lunch. That was after I got wonderful 8 hours of sleep last night. And so I have a platform, this foundation, these pillars that I can put an unbelievable amount of stress and calls and appointments and interactions and business deals and shooting and everything, because I have a healthy platform. And good luck to anybody that tries to keep up with the amount of work that I do in a day, because I have such a massive platform. And if you don't have that foundation, then I don't understand. Well, I can understand, but it's just going to be a very finite duration of time. You can supplement in college. Obviously, I had friends that used a lot of drugs and alcohol to enable them to do things. They would drink so they could go to sleep, and then they would use Coke so they could go and take an exam. And I never did any of that. And their tenure and success was so short-lived. It was sad. It was almost like a flash in a fry pan. So I really believe that you have to have this foundation for you to be successful, that you have to have this foundation of health that you can build on top of.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that one. Click up here to watch another 5 Steps to Thrive in Sales video. Click down here to watch the full interview where all these clips came from.